Welcome, everybody, to the third and final of our Fantasy and Frames Women Best Ball Challenge. I'm Stacy Perez, and I am here tonight with actually two very special guests. I have got Keith Fleming here to help as we live stream the Melissa Stark division, and we've also got our number one overall first drafter, Miss Wendy Early, is here, and she's going to be making her first pick live, ready to go. Wendy, are you ready? Do you feel comfortable? Do you know who you're going to pick?
I do know who I'm going to pick. My very first pick. That is the only guarantee. After that, it's going to be off the rails. I know it. I am so scared.
No, you're going to be fine. You're absolutely
don't worry.
fine.
No. Have you seen the people that are in this division? Y'all should be scared. I'm scared.
Listen,
I'm scared.
I had to draft.
I believe in you, Wendy. Like, come on.
Thank you. Yeah, Keith, you're my favorite. Look at my little name there. Keith Fleming is my favorite.
Well, Wendy, you are on the clock right now. You've got 37
All right.
seconds.
All right.
Let us know. Let's see. Pull that trigger. Who's it going to be?
I can tell you who it's going to be. That's who it is.
Oh, Joshua Allen. I love it.
It was overwhelming. I asked a few people, and that's who I knew I wanted. But I'm just like, I'm going to ask some of the people that know. I don't know these things. And it was overwhelmingly, it was a guy I wanted to pick. So I felt like, okay, I'm good with that.
I don't think you can go wrong with taking Josh Allen at the 101.
No, not at all.
No, absolutely not.
I know, though. I'm going to be in so much trouble, though. We got Courtney. She's going to snipe me all night. I know it. Courtney, be good to me. We're friends.
You just have to get ahead of her, get in her brain.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Wendy, you made my night.
Thank you for having me on. It was great.
I'm so glad I got to see you up close and personal.
Wendy, before you go, everybody, Wendy is the host of the Game Changers podcast with the sports affiliation. But tell everybody, Wendy, please, where they can find you online.
Yes, actually, you know what? You can go to Twitter. It's at Wendy Early, just my name. And then the Game Changers starting in April, which will be next week, is on Wednesday nights at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern with my co-host Carla. So you guys come and see us. We have a great guest next week. We have Tip Major.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Well, we will definitely be tuning in. As always, Wendy, go crush your draft.
All right. Thank you, Fantasy and Frames. And thank you, Stacy, for putting this together.
Absolutely. See you later.
All right. Bye, Keith.
Bye. That made my night. Thank you so much, Stacy. I'm glad you made it a surprise.
Let me tell you, Wendy reached out to me. She's like, hey, I'm thinking about jumping on, make the first pick. And I was like, Wendy, I love that. I love that idea. Please come on. I would love to have you on to make the first pick.
She's the best, like the nicest person I've ever. I mean, not that I haven't physically met her, but that's what I love about the internet and the web. I feel like I know her, and she's just the nicest person in the world, and I just adore her. Absolutely adore her.
Love Wendy. Guys, Keith over here. He is at Keith Fleming on Twitter. Keith, thank you for spending your Thursday night with us tonight. I know it's a little bit late. I took a nap today. Did you get a nap in?
No, I didn't. I was dumb. I ended up, running errands and then got back and started watching TV. And the next thing you know, it was 8 o'clock. We did the Fantasy Football Weekly show, and nothing I ever say is short and brisk. So next thing you know, it's like 9:10, and I got a bowl of cereal, and I was like, oh shit, I need to get on here. Stacy said 9:55. So that was kind of how it went. So QB Central right now. What is I think McCaffrey at 6 feels like a steal.
It does. I absolutely. This is kind of where we've been seeing McCaffrey go in that 6th spot in the drafts. Puka has been going really early as well. I got CeeDee Lamb in the 9th spot on Tuesday night, and I feel like that was a steal for me. But I want to introduce all the ladies that are drafting tonight.
Yeah, please do.
So you guys saw Wendy. She's at the 101. We have got Courtney Burrows from our Fantasy and Frames family at the 2 spot. We got Kendall Valenzuela from Fantasy Life, and she will be joining us here a little bit later tonight at 3. At 4, we've got Miss Carla Coinflip, as you know her online. She is a Flatfish Bowl participant. All right, that's so fun. We've also got Brittany Foxworth. She is with Roto Underworld and IDP Plus. Coming in at the 5, she's got CJ Stroud there. Number 6 would be Jamie Mispilkin. I am so sorry if I mess up your name, Jamie. Frazier. If I say Jamie Frazier, I'm going to start thinking that she's the character from the Outlander show. That is not that person. But she is a multiple year Scott Fishbowl participant. On number 7, who took CeeDee Lamb, we have got Kim. She is with On the Field, does the Warrior Bowl, Battle of the Sexes, Scott Fishbowl. Number 8 would be Gemma Martinez from NFL and Espanol and Estadio Fantasy. She's going to be joining us as well tonight. We have got Tracy coming in. You know her online as GGFFBOTS, which instead of me saying FF bots is Battle of the Sexes, as I learned the other night. And we've got
Learn something new every day,
I
Stacy.
know. In my head, I was like saying it like that, and then somebody else was like, Battle of the Sexes. I was like, obviously. So we've got Tracy. You guys, you just saw her take some of her picks. Yvette is drafting right behind her, Yvette Laboy. She's going to be joining us later tonight, too. She is from bougiesports.com. We got Kelly Singh bringing in the 11 spot. You guys know her. She's VP at marketing with Trophy Smack. She's also going to be online.
Arizona.
That's right. Arizona. Big Cardinals fan, big Mark Andrews fan.
We've actually done a golf podcast together. So Kelly,
really?
I've actually, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kelly, big golfer, big time golfer. Yep. And last but not least, coming to the 12th spot, we've got Gina. You guys know her online as She Talks Football. And looks like she's taking Saquon and Justin Herbert there. I think that's some pretty good value for Justin Herbert.
Extremely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, I wanted to ask you about Justin Jefferson because I'm seeing him go as our 4th receiver off the board here. On Tuesday night, he went at the 211 spot, wide receiver number 7 for us. And I'm wondering if that's going to kind of be where he falls this year.
If it is, people are insane. No offense, but Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in the league. He's going to be on a team. Like, granted, I know he's got a bad quarterback. That's kind of a bummer. You know what happens, though, when you have a bad quarterback and a bad team? You're down a lot. You know what you do a lot? When you're down a lot, you throw a bunch. Jefferson had like 300 yards in a 2-week stretch with, I don't even remember, was it Mullins? They had so many Hall. They had all these different schmucks at QB at the end of the year. You know what he kept doing? Putting up big numbers. I would take Jefferson over any of those guys. You could convince me on CeeDee Lamb. You could convince me on Jamar Chase, but I still would have Justin Jefferson as my number 1 wide receiver.
I think so too. And I love the value too that Jamie's getting with Amon-Ra St. Brown there. I mean, honestly, Sun God, exactly. I'll call him by his real name, which is the Sun God. I don't know. I mean, I think you could make an argument for taking him, just about anywhere out of the group of guys so far. I mean, he's a complete target monster. I think I looked up his stats the other day. 5th overall, most targeted wide receiver with 164 spots. We've got our first guest, guys, tonight. She is waiting in the wings. I'm bringing her in. Guys,
waiting in the wings. Sounds like
waiting in the wings.
Soap opera. I love it.
Gemma Martinez. Gemma, how are you doing?
Hi, hola a todos. Pues muy emocionada. Very excited for being here with you guys. Yes. I'm a little bit nervous because I think that is my first live in drafting, and it's the first time that I use this app.
Okay,
and it's very cool. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, we are drafting on the FFPC platform. That's the Fantasy Football Players Championship. If you are not familiar with it, go on, get familiar with it. They've got a ton of different opportunities to draft, different leagues. Anything that you could want to play for fantasy football, they have a league for it. And, they've got high stakes stuff. They do a live draft in Vegas that I'll be at this year, have been at for the last couple of years. And they do, leagues even down to $5, $10, $15. So there's something for everybody out there. Gemma, I'm glad you are enjoying it and having a good time. Tell me a little bit about your Anthony Richardson, Jamar Chase start.
Well, at first, Brittany told me T.J. Stroud, but yes. I know that T.J. Stroud will not come in the 8th pick. And Anthony Richardson, I think that he will give us a better season. I think so. Last year, he had an injury. And sorry, I think that my internet is delayed. I'm watching the picks too.
Stacy gave you 1 minute to pick. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah. That's okay. You're close. Actually, in all the jobs that I am, is 1 minute. Is never less. That's good. only one time. I think the second year that I was in fantasy involved, the person, the commissioner, put 30 seconds only, but he get a mistake, and we were like, "Oh my God, this is so fast!" But it was cool too. I remember that I picked another guy because I put the last name, and but well, that's another that were like 10 years ago. And well, my Anthony Richardson, well, I think that he will be this season. He will do a better season. I think that he will not make that mistake that I think that last year he want to be everything, right? He want to I don't know how to say in English, demostrarnos that he was like I don't know, like Hulk or something, that he was invincible. I think that this year will be more careful about that, and that's why I picked like my first quarterback. And then Jamar Chase, come on, it's Jamar Chase. Yeah, he had Joe Burrow. I think that Joe Burrow will be in the first week. That's why I picked Jamar Chase. And I prefer Justin Jefferson, but well, Jamar Chase came to me, and we are here.
Well, he was the fifth receiver off the
It's a
board.
value for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The fifth value.
I love the Richardson pick and so much of what she was saying there, because don't forget that one of the reasons he was running so much and got hurt was because Jonathan Taylor was not in the backfield, which will not be an issue this year. He will have Jonathan Taylor, and I am confident they're not going to have Richardson running nearly as much. The other thing is just look what Jalen Hurts did in the Steichen offense 2 years in a row. He was QB6 his first full year as a starter, QB1 the second year, 21 points or more. I love Richardson. I said on the show before, one of my hot takes, I think he's going to be a top 5 QB at the end of the year in fantasy.
Yeah.
Me too. I believe it too. I believe it too.
I love it. Let's see. So far, we haven't had any quarterback picks yet, which is kind of interesting for a super flex format, because
Kendall and Carla just did, right? They got Jackson and Love and Mahomes and Murray.
Did. Well, I was thinking back to back, doing like.
I'm sorry. Gotcha.
But you're right though. But that's the first ones right there to go and grab that second quarterback, and getting Love, Murray, Kirk Cousins right there in the third round.
Oh,
great. They got you. They sniped you, Emma.
Yeah. Again, that's the beauty of fantasy of drafting, right?
Exactly. That was me on Tuesday. Perfect CJ Stroud, Jordan Love little combo that I was gonna do, and
I remember that
guys just got snatched right before I got a chance to draft.
Yeah.
JC, so how you are going to be up? You're on deck right now. We've got
on the clock.
Not yet. You're
okay.
God, you're gonna give her a panic attack.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure, because I last on Tuesday, we're talking, you get talking and everything, and sometimes you don't, see that you're up. So I didn't want anybody to miss their pick. Ooh, look at that.
God, I like Kim's team. Whew.
Oh my God.
I'm so high on Purdy, man. So high on Purdy. I don't know why people are not higher on him in that offense. He was QB6 last year, first full year starter. And then pairing Dak and CD, that's a really good first 3 picks.
I mean, it went weeks before he had an interception. I think it was like him and CJ Stroud before, like those two guys were like one of the only two left that didn't have an interception before. I forget what week it was, but I mean, I'm a Brock Purdy fan. Ooh, Kyron
Wood. Yes, sir.
That is nice. That's a nice pick. I like that.
I was doubtful about this pick because I don't know if I better take tight end, because the tight end premium.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But hopefully the other tight end will know.
Oh, the best tight end is going to be the first tight end picked in this draft class.
Yeah, that's correct.
Go Dogs.
I like this report. I like Courtney taking Sam Laporte as her tight end line overall. Pure off the board. I have no issue with that.
Kelly is loading up on pass catchers. Tyreek, Jefferson, McBride. That is nasty.
Woo. Kelly. Oh my goodness, I love it. I like Trey McBride too. because I know everybody I feel like is talking about Sam Laporta being like a candidate to regress because he did so well last year. But I'm kind of digging Trey McBride as well now that he's gonna have a full year of Kyler Murray. That'll be nice.
Yeah, got rid of the number one receiver. So you would think that he's going to be de facto. I'm sure they'll probably take one.
There's the number one receiver there. I have a feeling his name is Marvin Harrison Jr.
I don't want to say it 2 shows in a row. I was going to say I actually am higher on Neighbors than I am Williams, but I don't want to get into that. I mean, Harrison, I don't want to get into that again because I kind of got made fun of on the last one. There's the Caleb Williams pick. Kelly, the patience paid off. I love it. That our offense is going to be really good.
That's going to be that's really nice. Guys, everybody's team looks great.
Well, I mean, we kind of did.
Yeah.
These are all very smart people in the world of football and fantasy. So
Emma's on the clock. I can't wait to see what she does. Rashee Rice goes right after Marvin Harrison Jr., the first rookie wide receiver off the board. Guys, I promise that I will be better about telling everybody who's been drafted, especially for those of you that are going to be listening to this instead of watching a little bit later. I feel like I did just a terrible job of narrating from Sunday and from Tuesday.
I don't think, though, people want to hear you just read off names either, though.
No,
if I'm being honest, right? Like, come on. You're way more entertaining than that.
Angie says it's definitely different than Tuesday's draft. Angie, you are 100% right. Ooh, Mark Andrews. Kelly is going to be so upset that you.
So what was the difference in Tuesday's draft?
So a lot. There was, almost the first top was all, red. So all quarterbacks were going. Laporta was one of those top ones. He went pretty early.
I think that it was the first pick, right?
Yeah.
No, Puka. No, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Puka was the first over wide receiver. So yeah, just a lot. But Etienne went about that round as well. He's going really high.
London, that's good.
Yeah,
I like that stack a lot.
I tried
Cousins and London should work out really well together. Like, I think he's probably the most likely Falcon player to take a huge step from what he's done. I think Kyle Pitts probably has the highest ceiling of the 3 Falcons weapons, but just what London does and who Cousins is, I think that he's going to get peppered with targets.
Me too. There will be a very good team. And actually, when I was on the media center in the Super Bowl, I took the opportunity to talk with Robinson. And
Bijan, yeah.
With Bijan Robinson. And he told I asked him that if he has a fantasy football team, who he would pick, and he told me that Drake London.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that interview. You did a great job with him. How was that? How was that experience? What did you? Because that was at the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, it was very good. I get nervous because the kind of players that they are. But then when I saw like Kelly, like Sam, and other girls, Renee, and other girls asking questions to other players, I can see that they, for example, not get nervous, or they like repeat the questions and then ask the question and all that kind of stuff. I think that we make a very good team with women in fantasy football over there.
Yes.
I like it very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. It's a great team. They're putting out some great content. So Olave goes, Jonathan Taylor.
So there's the second rookie QB, Jaden Daniels.
Going to Brittany. We took CJ Stroud, number 5 quarterback overall. So she's got a young team there with CJ Stroud, Bijan, Nico, and Jaden Daniels. That's I think 3rd round Nico Collins going. I mean, I think that's kind of where he's probably going to live for the remainder of the off season. What do you guys think about that? Getting those Texans pretty high after last year.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would push back a little bit is I actually think Tank Dell is the Texans receiver that I want over Nico Collins. Wow. It's just, I'm a data nerd. That's just what I do. If you look at when they lined up together, Dell was better. And Collins really feasted when there was no Dell. So if Dell is healthy coming into the season, he's just the receiver I'd rather have. But, I mean, CJ Stroud was so incredible last year. never say anything disparaging about him again. Even though he did go to Ohio State. So.
Give me all the Kendall, all of Kendall. I love him so much. He's probably one of my favorite rookies.
I like very much that Houston team. That's why I will love to take CS Stroud, but well, Brittany, take it. And what do you think about Joe Mixon in Texas? Do you like that? That contract, or I don't have to say it in English. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really like that. I like that move for him. I like that move for Houston. Damian Pierce hasn't really done much to impress, the last year. So, I mean, they have to bring in somebody. They lost Evan Singletary. So I like the Mixon pick a lot. Keith, you probably have a lot more stats than I do because I'm over here with just the vibe about
No, Mixon's a great piece for that offense because they're so young and Mixon's been around for a while. He can do it all. He's actually turned into a pretty durable guy who, gets a lot of carries, targets, receptions, etc., and plays a good bit of games. I am, though, like the last guy on Dameon Pierce Island. I loved him coming out of college. If you look, he got hurt at the end of his rookie year. I wonder if maybe that had a part to do with, his performance last year. But, I mean, he's definitely going to have a hard time earning reps with somebody like Joe Mixon in front of him. So I do think that Mixon, especially like where he's been going, is a value.
Okay. Well, Emma, you are going to be on the clock here in just a second. So real quick before I don't want to take up your time while you're drafting. So tell all the people where they can find you on social media.
Well, you can find me like here in Twitter, like @_Gemma Martinez.
Yes.
And you can see a lot of things of fantasy, of music too, some beers, and another many things. Okay, I'm the clock, right?
You are on the clock. Do your pick, and then we will let you go so you can enjoy the rest of your draft.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us.
Okay.
I love seeing people's focused face because I saw it with Wendy when she was drafting. It's like you kids, and I'm the same way. Like so zoned in.
Oh yeah. Well, this crowd too. You've got to be. Got some show. Ooh, Mike Evans. Mike Evans, very nice.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. See you later.
Bye.
See you later.
All right, guys, we have got our very special next guest coming on in. We've got Miss Kendall Valenzuela from Fantasy Life here joining us. What's up, Kendall? How's it going?
Hey, guys. How are you? Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Perfect. I love when technology works and I work it correctly. So that's the best. How's it going?
Good. This draft is moving along. It seems like everybody's going real smooth.
I mean, you have 60 seconds. It's pandemonium. Let's be honest. So.
Exactly. You need to queue. You need to queue them up, or else I know for me, if I'm not queuing them up, it would be a mess. I don't even know what my team would look like. It wouldn't be good though. It wouldn't be good.
Or you could do what I did on Tuesday, which was set my whole queue. And then I say a few things and I look back over to go draft and everyone's gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the best part is just like get it. And this is such a good group. Every group is such a good group. So I was like, I'm just gonna get sniped all night, but that's okay. You're
crushing it. Right? Are you kidding me? You got Lamar, Love, and three of the best receivers in football: Garrett Wilson, Olave, and Ayuk, who might even be at a different location where he's getting more targets this year. So
exactly.
No, I love your first 5 picks.
I like how it's falling. This is my first, this is the first big draft of the season. So to me, you just have to read the board, right? And you just have to follow along. I can have 10 different plans. And when we get in there, they usually all just blow up because you just want to play with what the board is doing. So, first I was lucky to have 3. So I'm like, okay, I'm going quarterback. And, there wasn't a huge run at quarterback there going into that that 1-2 turn. Yeah. So I said, okay, let's see how far we can get. And then Jordan Love was just staring at me. So I was like, you know what? I gotta pick up Jordan Love.
Oh, you
start with a fantasy cheat code. I mean,
yeah.
I think people kind of forgot until last year how good Lamar can be in year 2 in Monken's offense. I'd be shocked if if he's healthy, he's not a top 3 QB again in fantasy.
I agree. I agree.
I love it. I had Jordan Love. I really was trying my best to do a CJ Stroud, Jordan Love stack. on Tuesday, and the girls did not allow that at all.
They were like, no, we draw the line somewhere and it's that.
Yes,
It's
100%.
incredible. I love it.
Oh, Gemma just lost out on Mixon, who she just talked about right
Oh,
before
see,
she was selected.
that's why we can't talk about our picks. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. I'm like, who's watching here? Who's in here? Who's listening to us?
Who's paying attention? Hopefully they're not paying attention. No.
Exactly. I'm like, hopefully not.
Oh, Malik Neighbors goes.
That's a good
Look
pick.
at that. Lamb, Debo, and Malik. That's a nice little receiver group for Kim at number 7.
I can't believe May or McCarthy have not gone yet.
I know. Baker. Ooh, Kirk Cousins and Baker. That's fun.
I guess the upside of Daniel's running though, right?
Great.
Yeah.
Love it.
This is a good draft. This is a good group. This is a good group.
Not that we had any doubt. I just
really.
I got a question for you. Your photo from the Roundup NFL draft rumors on Fantasy Life is like the most perfect meme / picture I've ever seen. How many times did you take that picture before you got the one that you use?
I don't think many. I think if I remember correctly, I don't think many. So it was incredibly lucky.
They need to put it in the loop. It's amazing. Like it's absolutely, I love it every time I
appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think hopefully not many. And if it was a lot, then I'm just not going to admit it. That's where we draw the line. Yeah. So it's it's fun. I'm glad I'm doing my first draft. You know, I've done some best ball drafts, but first one, with you guys, this is fun.
This is great. Yeah, I've only done 2 drafts so far this season, which is kind of not like me. But I've been, like life has just really gotten in the way of football lately, which is just really great.
Baseball started today. Come on, Stacy, that played a role. You've been going to spring training games. We
have
know.
been going to spring training. That is fair. Yeah. when I can escape. See, that's the nice thing about being your own boss, though, is that I can ask myself for permission to take the day off, and usually I give it to myself. So
right. I love it.
Well, Kendall, you are on the clock here, so when you make your pick, I've got some
questions. You know what? I'm a big 0 RB person, but I think this is about the time when you get into that situation where you say, okay, we need to get moving here with some running backs.
Just get James Cook there.
I know. I'm really loving how it's falling. Kenneth Walker was someone I had queued up to. And depending who's still there, I mean, I like Alvin Kamara in this spot too. This is when I would have thought some of the rookies started, like Marvin Harrison Jr. I think went really early, which isn't a bad thing. I was just kind of surprised at how early he went. Mm-hmm. So this is where I would look there, and I think we're tight end premium, right? So I'm kind
of Bowers. I keep telling you.
I know. I love
so good. It's premium, right?
It is premium. So. And there's some good ones still left too. That's the thing.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Mostert in the 6th. So he's moving up. So I don't think he went till like the 7th or 8th to Rachel on Sunday. And then I grabbed him. I forget which round I grabbed him. And I think it was 7th round on Thursday.
How many positions, Stacy?
So we're at 20. We're a 20-man roster. So we have got, hang on just one second. Let me pull up so we've got 2 receivers, 2 running backs, tight end, a flex, regular super flex. And then 12 bench spots.
Okay.
It's the best. Like I did my first best ball last year, and it's like, wait a minute, you're done? Like this is it? I'm finished. The draft, it's over. I don't have to do anything. It's the best.
Yeah, I went out of control with like best ball mania and like just the like ease and everything with like, I've got 45 minutes to spare. Let's just go do a best ball. Why not?
Right? It is the best.
I'm getting a pedicure. I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's just do
like, why not just do something here?
Yeah. And, all right. So you are on the clock. Looks like Wendy is hoarding all the tight end, all the running backs over here.
I know. And I don't love drafting Alvin Kamara here. I almost might.
Well, you only have to start 2, so.
That's true. That's why I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on tight end too.
I love the James Cook pick. Buffalo offense. I mean, I can't believe he went that way.
You know what?
So, give me from the chat. Dan wants to know, a little bit late to the stream, wants to know where he can find the context rules for the draft tonight. So Dan, so we're drafting on the platform, the FFPC. So if you go look up FFPC Fantasy Football Players Championship, you're going to be able to find their site with all their rules, all their leagues, everything that they've got available for you there. So if you just give them a quick Google, it's probably going to be the first thing that pops up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I went Keenan there.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know. Alvin Kamara is someone in this area where I would say, okay, I'll draft Alvin Kamara. Devontae, if I didn't have AJ already, I would have taken Devontae.
Oh,
We're talking about if they take a wide receiver at 9 and say you get Neighbors on the outside with DJ Moore and then Keenan Allen at the slot. Like I can't remember a number 1 pick ever being like this set up to succeed right coming into the league. And then Williams is like arguably one of the most talented guys in the last 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that completely. I've said that in some of my videos. I said, there's this situation that they're setting, whoever it is, like we know it's probably going to be Caleb Williams, but whoever comes in there, they are setting up for success. And I think other teams are following suit a little in a way where they're also setting other guys up for success. But man, the way that quarterback's going to walk into that Bears offense and just have a plethora of weapons. And then, they get after the offensive line, they get after all these other positions of need. And then you look at that, you look around and you're like, okay, this isn't the old Bears team anymore. This is a fun, good Bears team. So
it's the Bears again.
I know, exactly. And it's crazy that we're in a situation now where Justin Fields is still on the board here. I mean, I was reading old articles from last year and it was like, so do we take Justin Fields at the 1-2 turn or do we let him fall to round 3? And I'm like, oh my gosh, now we're in this situation where we don't do that anymore, which is so
especially with Arthur Smith calling plays. I mean, we know the least talented person is going to get the ball. So probably Russell's going to end up starting most of the games. I mean,
do you guys really? I mean, do you guys wonder, like, at what points do you think at all, like that Fields is going to take over that quarterback spot, or do you think?
Yeah, I think it's midway through. I think it's midway through the season. I think there's a clause, not that I think necessarily.
Do they pick them up? You think, Kendall? Because I think it's May. They have to do the 5th-year option.
Yeah, I think they could pick him up because I don't think Russ is their long-term answer. And then I think there's a clause in his contract going into this year where if he plays 51% of the snaps, then that 8th round pick turns into a 4th. So maybe they wait and it's not 51% and they hit him right at 50. Right. And he starts, the last, what would that be then? 7 games, depending on where they are. So I definitely think he takes over. And I love Russell Wilson. I'm from Seattle. I really do love Russell Wilson. I hated it when he left for Denver. And I do hope that this is a situation where we just say, oh, okay, there's Russ. I don't think he'll ever return to form, but at least in a better situation than what he was in Denver, hopefully.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a good QB in the Smith offense, kind of like it's a good matchup.
I hope so.
Yeah, Cal, we got the chat chiming in with some information regarding that the Justin Fields, the 6th turning into a 4th, 51%. Yep, and there you go.
Oh, I got it right.
Kelly got him. We'll have to ask her about that when she comes on here in a little bit. Wow, T. Higgins, man, in the 7th. That's wild.
I know, that's crazy to me.
I was kind of hoping he got traded just because I think Higgins has been unfortunate to be paired next to Jamar Chase, who is, a better wide receiver, but I don't think T. Higgins, like on most teams, I think he could be one of these elite number 1 wide receivers as well.
Yeah, I would agree. And Tyler Boyd too, like I feel like with all the noise that was going on with the Bengals and what was going to happen there, I think he's being severely like where people are forgetting about him. And I'm like, wait a second, we still got Tyler Boyd here. So let's pay attention to him for a second because he's still that guy. He's good.
They just got to protect Burrow, right? Like that's the issue. When you protect Burrow, they're unbelievable. But when you don't, it's a problem. Luckily, there's a ton of good tackles in this class. So Houston Texans, Cincinnati Charge, all these teams with these stud QBs. How about you protect them? Like, get some of these tackles, not the flashy. Get the big guys up front.
Exactly. I'm with you.
Absolutely. Calvin's got the itch now to go do some more best ball drafts.
Yes.
I don't blame you, Calvin. I thought about it today. I was like, I really need to get back in there after doing the one Tuesday.
Yeah, it's so fun.
There went Fields. You mentioned he's like Beetlejuice. You mentioned his name. We hit
Yeah.
it just
It
enough
was good.
times.
I'm
and
glad.
there it
I'm
went.
glad he went. It's where he needed to go.
Ooh, Najee. There we go. Zach Moss, Pacheco, and Najee. That's a nice little running back core. Kendall, I want to ask you real quick. Tell if you could give the people, because I know we've got some people in the draft and watching and stuff that are a little bit newer to doing calls and everything. Like, if you could give some people some advice for maybe some newer fantasy players, maybe newer to football.
Yeah, no, I would love to. I think, first of all, I am a rankings person through and through. So whenever I go in, I always look at ADP, I look at average draft position, but I don't let that define how I want to draft. Because if you like your guys and you have a good feeling, stray away from it. You don't have to always go through when you see, this ADP on the side, if you guys can see it, 85, 90, 93, use it as a baseline. So, when you don't have to reach, or you can see when something's a really good value. And that's when I first got into it. That was something that I learned myself pretty quickly, is that, you can stray away from the ADP. And then I think, like I said at the beginning, when you can come into this draft, and I had 10 different ways that I thought this could go. And what way did it happen? Did any of those happen? No, absolutely not. So I think it's playing the board is how I would say it. Just play the board, see who's on there, and just kind of roll with it, because it's usually not going to go how you think it is. And so you just have to kind of pivot and move with the people. If everyone's drafting a quarterback, then you should probably look at saying, okay, maybe this is my time. But for me, with all these wide receivers that were still left over, I said, okay, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit. And I'm not going to take a running back tight end, even in this tight end premium, which now I know I need to go and get, but I'm going to get these elite wide receivers first, while everyone else then is going to try and chase wide receivers in the next 5 or 6 rounds.
I love that. I love that strategy. I mean, that's the way you have to. I was just talking with a friend of mine before we got on tonight about, like, how we drafted when we first got into fantasy versus, having, some more experience in what our drafts and teams look like and our builds look like now. And I think one of the things when I first started was, in my mind, I was just going through and saying, checking off boxes like, okay, I need a quarterback, got that. Now I have to take, a running back. I have to take a draft, and you don't have to do it that way. I mean, exactly like you said. I mean, your team here is stacked with amazing talent at wide receiver, and this is the full point PPR. So in addition to the starting, you can throw one in the flex as well. So you can potentially start 3 of these guys. You've got Garrett Wilson, Olave, Ayuk, Keenan Allen. I mean, those guys are ones on any other team. Like, then you got them, all the way down to the 7th round. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's just fun. And you just look at who you're drafting with too. I think that's important if you're with friends, or if whoever it is. I know in this group you're going to get sniped. So be ready to be sniped and have that backup plan, and just go get your guys. I think that's my big thing, that when I first started doing this, it was like, okay, I got to follow, who's next on the rankings, who's someone here that should go. And if my guys, 5 or 6 picks after, I'm going to go get my guy, because that's who you got to like your team at the end of the day. You don't want to be cheering for someone that you're like, well, I think this guy sucks, but his ADP was right there. And so I want to make sure that I grabbed him. Like, if you don't believe in him, then you want to have fun at the end of the day. And that's what we're here for.
Yeah, and then you can gloat when you're the one that picked somebody earlier, and everybody's like, I told you, like, this guy's awesome.
And then when you're wrong, you just say, hey, I was wrong.
I was taking a
I
shot.
thought he was going to suck.
Sue me.
All the time.
Exactly. I thought he was going to be bad. Okay.
Yeah.
We just admit it.
I think you're so right too. Like, in a room like this, particularly, like, if you have a player that you want, like, go get them, because they are not. If you want him, you can guarantee the 11 other people that you're playing with probably want him too. So go get him when you have the chance, or else
or else they're going to be gone.
Oh my gosh,
love that second tight end by Wendy, because she's got Kyle Pitts, who we know is probably going to be a boomer bust guy, and then you get Ferguson, who's just very steady and consistent in that Dallas offense. Really like those 2 tight ends together.
I love that pick. Going with Stephon Diggs, Chris Godwin in the 9th. I mean, that's Wendy. Wendy, you're doing a great job too. Everybody here is. All these teams are fantastic. This is going to be a tough division for sure.
So my question is there going to be like a Slack or something where y'all talk shit to each other? And can we follow it during the season?
I'll put one of those together. I'll put that on my to-do list. Keith, that's a great idea. I am absolutely going to do that.
I think we have to.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to make a note right now. Put that on my little sheet down here to make a Slack.
Okay, so you're still logged in as Wendy. Is that why? Because I keep seeing that
I
you are
know it's a little weird. So so that I would have access to be able to show
more. Yeah.
live streams. Yeah, so I'm a second owner on Wendy's team and then on Rachel's team from Sunday. So I'm not drafting, I'm not doing anything. I'm just
No,
hanging
I
out.
wasn't saying that. I was confused what kept
I know
like I
you're
was like,
not.
what
I'm
does it
just
mean? You were 21
you
picks
know.
away. I'm like, what's it talking about?
I know, I was like, how can I get in there? And then when we were putting it all together, the FFPC guys were like, we'll just add you as a second owner if you're going to live stream, no big deal. Because that way you can be able to see like have access to them during the season so you know who's,
Kendall, how do you keep getting away with this bullshit?
I know. Well, TJ, I know. TJ makes me. I'm gonna have to chase here a little bit with the tight ends, but that's something that I just told myself. I said, hey, I'm gonna. You're gonna give up something when you do what I did and kind of like do punt on running backs. Go
But what are
zero
you
RB.
worried about? I mean,
I'm worried about the timeline and when he comes back.
Okay,
He
you're
should.
injured.
The injury timeline is the
Okay.
only thing, and then who's their quarterback?
Who cares? They're gonna be down. What do you do when you're down?
Yeah,
You chuck
it's
it.
true. It's true. I know that Justin Jefferson for me is quarterback proof. So, he for in rankings like wide receiver 4 kind of guy. And I'm like, I'm still drafting. Like we can't look at Justin Jefferson and say, okay, are we gonna fade Justin? Absolutely not. But TJ Hawkinson, I'm interested. I haven't looked recently on his timeline and his return, but that's the only thing. But hey, I know that, so I'm gonna chase some later round tight ends.
And we just know he's from the McVay coaching tree, okay, and they just throw to tight ends so much. Where I actually think Hawkinson that late is a steal.
Yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I think I got him in one of my early drafts that I did over Super Bowl weekend, but I just kind of like, you know what? If I can just set aside, like maybe I don't have him for half the season, that's okay. And then I'll just
best ball, especially, right?
Exactly.
Like more than the other leagues, yeah.
With a couple other guys, and then when he comes back, I'm going to have an absolute steal, and I'm going to have a total stud at that position for the
last. Like Kamara last year in best balls, like you seem stupid taking him early, but if you're in a PPR one, I mean, he had that like 4-week stretch where he scored a gazillion points.
Oh my goodness! Hey guys, we have a question in the chat here. Calvin wants to know, how does the panel feel about stacks and double stacks for best ball? He is particularly interested in team 7 over here, so that's going to be Kim's team. So she's got CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott in here. She's got Purdy with Debo and Kittle as well there. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I feel like the way this is set up. So we've got 3 different divisions. We can't do it as a tournament style. So what I'm going to be doing is manually kind of checking to see who is in first in their own division, and then overall points out of all 3 groups. But in a self-contained league, I don't think you need to worry about stacking quite as much, just because you're only worrying about these 11 other teams. But in a bigger tournament, I'm definitely all about the stacking, that correlating, your last few weeks of the season, that kind of thing, doing a little bit more, strategy-wise. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, 1,000%. Especially when you're, in these situations, I try and stack. I lightly try and stack. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So I don't force it. But when I'm on underdog, especially, and trying to get through in those big tournaments, like I want to walk out with a few stacks, and they don't have to be, they don't have to be huge, right? I'm not saying, we go out and get Lamar Jackson and then immediately, you try and get some of those guys, because that's when it gets expensive, and you're usually not going to be able to get, Lamar and all those wide receivers who are really good, but you can do it for these secondary guys. Like I can try Jordan Love. I don't love the options that I'm left with. But you can try and get some of those, wide receiver 2, 3 guys that you say, okay, if in a situation this happens and they go off for a few, especially in best ball, then it's really good for you. So I love stacking, and I always try it in most of my drafts.
Yeah, for sure. Keith, what about you? How do you feel about the stacks?
I'm a DFS guy. I freaking love stacks. Yeah. It's what you live for big paydays. And I mean, I think best ball is more similar to DFS than it is regular fantasy, that you kind of got to be aggressive, because I mean, what's the purpose of being in the middle, right? Like at least in season longs, you make the playoffs, maybe you go on a run at the end of the year. To where best balls, most of it's just, the most points, and it's similar to DFS. It's you either want to be first or you're last, like Ricky Bobby, right? You ain't first, you're last. So I'm all for it.
I agree.
Bob Harris in the chat. What's up, Bob? Coming in with some ADP information on Hawkinson. Current ADP on Hawkinson is double-digit rounds. That is best ball 10s and an underdog as well. So right there, you got him in the 9th. So right around that time.
Kendall said you got to be ahead of the curve, right? And so she's just taking her own advice. I love it.
I didn't love it, but it's something that happened that I said, well, I gotta get a tight end here eventually.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like him a little bit better than, some of your options that are left, although there is one particular tight end that I'm thinking might go with your build. I'm not going to say his name so don't jinx it. But there's a couple, but one in particular that I'm thinking of.
Is he technically a backup?
No, actually.
Okay.
I'm looking to make sure he's not already gone. Oh, well. Hema got him. That was Musgrave. I was thinking
this is why she haunts me. She's so good. I was seated next to her in drafts for the Queen's Classic, and it was one of those things where you just roll your eyes every time because she's so good. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, clear my queue. Let's go next. God.
Love Hema. She got Andrews and Musgrave. That's fun. Those are two really good. I mean, she could potentially have one at tight end and one at flex too.
Well, I mean, also though, again, to me, that's a deal where Andrews is going to be very consistent if he's healthy, and I think Musgrave is going to be a guy that he may not be week to week a huge number person, but he's going to have some monster games with his speed and just the mismatch that he creates.
Oh yeah.
I can't draft Christian Watson again. I just really can't.
You're not ready to.
Who would have bet that he would be the Packers receiver nobody wanted?
God.
A year later, after what he did his rookie year, it's insane.
Bad. It's so bad. I'm telling you, I just can't do it to myself again.
But those other guys are good. Like Reed looks good, Wicks looks good, Dobbs was incredible in the playoffs. Like
the whole offense is awesome. But I've heard some stuff kind of, and I don't remember exactly where, so I wish I could remember exactly where I heard it. But
Homer Corner, aren't you a Packers fan?
Well, I am absolutely a Packers fan. Go Pack, go. No, but that Watson's like looking into, talking with some more people about, the soft tissue injuries, why he had so many hamstring issues last season, trying to figure out, ways to kind of make sure that doesn't happen again. I guess kind of similar to the way that Tua tried to do some, preventative things in the offseason to make sure he didn't have any more concussion issues.
Curry early in his career had all the ankle issues, literally retrained the way he ran. And as you see, he really hasn't had any serious issues since.
Yeah.
I love the Zamir White that way. Goodness
gracious. That's it's a pair. Oh, Brittany, talk about going zero RB girl. Oh my goodness. She did well, not zero RB, but I guess she did like an anchor one with Bijan and then down here with Zamir. That's nice.
Yeah, I actually really do like Brittany's team. I mean, all the teams are good. It's like what you were saying.
These are some good ones. Kendall is on
See, now we get to see Kendall's thinking face, which has been my highlight so far with each lady that has came on. When they're selecting, they go from, interacting with everybody on the show to just focus.
Love it. Well, I'm going to take advantage of a second since we were talking about the Packers. I see Josh Jacobs here going in the 5th. I think that's tremendous value because honestly, I think he's going to finish the season a lot higher. I think that's going to be great value by the end of the year. I think as much as I hated to lose Aaron Jones, I was a little hurt about that. I couldn't.
You were really hurt last time I talked to you.
My feelings were a little hurt. I was in my feelings on that one.
The steps of grief. So
it is. I've reached acceptance now. Since I started rooting for the Lions last year, I feel like I guess I can root for the Vikings now too. If I can root for Aaron.
You need to go see the 500 or movie 500 Days of Summer. Anytime you forget about just take a breath because there's always something good right around the corner.
I will not root for the Bears though. That's a non-negotiable.
You're like, that's where I draw the line.
Exactly. That is where we draw the line right there.
I love it.
Nick Chubb, I love it. I say Georgia fan, that is my guy. If anybody can come back from the injuries, they said the same thing when he had this injury in college, and we saw how great he was in the NFL. I believe in Nick Chubb, and I think there's some real value there. And then again, a best ball, that's what you're looking for at this point.
Yeah.
It's a 10th round pick with huge upside. Even if it means halfway through the season he becomes the guy that he's capable of being.
Exactly. That's what, especially in best ball, we like to take shots. I think last year I was someone that was finishing off drafts with Kyler Murray with a just in case. Sometimes they're going to hit and sometimes they're not. But with Kyler Murray, I think everything was sound in wanting to do that and saying to myself, okay, if he does come back and if he is really good, then he takes you into the championship. You go into week 17 and you're feeling really good about it. So I think you got to take a little. I like to take a little bit of risk there, towards the end when it's something that you just kind of have to look around and say, okay, let's just do this now.
Yes.
Gus Bus.
Off. You beat me to it, Keith. I was.
See, that means we've been doing more shows together because now we're starting to think the same.
Yes, our minds have melded already.
All we wanted to do was talk about Kate a few weeks ago. Now we're both, thinking about Gus Edwards.
Exactly. I mean, do you think they're going to bring somebody else in here with Gus, or
yes,
is this
for
his job?
sure. Harbaugh's going to run the rock a lot. So yeah, I would be sure. I actually think there's a good chance he tries to take, and I always forget his name, the back from the national title team. Whenever he's got to take him because he has so much familiarity with them,
right?
They're going to run a similar system, and I do think. But I mean, the great thing is I think they got Edwards because Harbaugh knows when you get it in close, you need to score. And what is Gus Edwards great at? He's scoring, from inside like the 3-4 yard line.
What do you have, like 13 touchdowns inside the red zone last year? I think is. Yeah. Let me look at my little cheat sheet over here. Yeah, that's right.
I know that if you had Lamar Jackson, you were not happy when a passing play or a rushing play stopped at the 1 yard line because that meant you just got screwed.
Right.
Got vultured by Gus Edwards. How do you like Deontay Johnson this year? Do you think that's going to be a good change in environment for him?
Oh, I hope so, because I just drafted him, so I'm really open. So I think it's going to be really interesting, and I'm excited to see what the difference in that Carolina team is, right? Because you still have Bryce Young, who I really want to believe went number 1 overall for a reason. And then you've got Canales in there now, who we saw what he did with Geno and we saw what he did with Baker. So I don't know if and fantasy football is all about track records. So if we look, it's really not, it's not horrible. So now you have him go over there. And I want to believe you take the second year leap and you say, okay, we're trying, they're at least giving him more than what he had last year, and more weapons when we talk about that, like we did with Caleb Williams. So I'm going to take stabs at him and see, because if it is an offense that, suddenly starts to, flourish and become really good, then I want a little bit of piece of it. And you're not spending a lot of capital when you get Deontay Johnson in the 11th round. So I'll take stabs on him.
It reminds me a lot of I'm sorry. Go ahead, Stacy.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I mean, he's your fifth receiver.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It reminds me so much so of like the T-Law situation with Bryce Young. Like his first year was a shit show. And so was Young's. And I mean, if you look, Lawrence, they kind of started adding weapons, got a better coaching staff around him, and he had a much better second year. I still believe in Bryce Young. I think he was in like the worst situation just about imaginable last year. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's going to surprise some people this year. I like Deontay Johnson. He's the kind of receiver he needs that gets open quickly. You get rid of the ball fast, which is something he did really well at Alabama.
Exactly.
All right. Look at this. We get who is that? Which team is that? Hang on. Let me scroll back up here. Number 7. Kim's team again. She's got the 2 rookie guys there. She's got Brian Thomas and
she's got the 2 LSU guys. She's got to be from Louisiana. Come on.
I mean, listen, I don't think you can go wrong with taking an LSU receiver. Right?
No, you definitely cannot. Justin Jefferson, Jamar. I mean, you can definitely, it's a pretty good place to get a wide receiver from.
But that's okay. Yeah. A little DeAndre Hopkins there, 11th round. All right. Well, Kendall, I know you've got some stuff to do. You got a flight to catch.
I know.
Too much longer because it is late tonight. But thank you so much for spending your night with us here and giving us all this great information and insights. If you could tell everybody where they can find you and what you're working on.
Great. Yeah. So you guys at K Valenzuela 17 on Twitter, which you guys have tagged me in for all the stuff tonight. So that's been fun. And then fantasy life, we're getting ready for the rookie rankings, the Dwayne Supermodels coming out. And so we always want you to go subscribe to the Fantasy Life newsletter, fantasylife.com. And we're just having a good off season. So it's been fun. I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much. And have a great rest of your draft. I'll see you later.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
See you later.
Kendall.
Bye.
Yeah, I get the Fantasy Life newsletter every morning in my
Me too.
inbox. One of my favorite reads.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Oh God, look at that. Calvin's gonna be a new Kendall follower. Everybody should be following Kendall for one. If
Yeah,
you're not,
for sure.
please go make sure to follow her.
And seriously, check out the picture I was talking about from her. I think it's weekly article she does of NFL Rumor Roundup. It is just the most amazing photo ever. It's like her doing the thinking man. It is
funny.
just, I love it.
I'm gonna have to
Makes me
check that
crack
out.
up every time I see it.
I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. So okay, so we are going into the 11th round here. Oh, look at that. 2 Packer receivers
Let
off
me
the board.
put you on the spot. What team do you like right this second, Stacy? You got to pick one.
Ooh.
It's like picking your favorite child. There's always
Yeah.
one. Parents lie. Which
All
team
right.
is your
Let
favorite?
me take a look here at everybody. Take in
Take a
the
gander.
entirety of the draft board here, and see who our options are. I'm really liking Team 5, Brittany's team here with CJ Stroud, Bajan, Nico. She's got Jaden Daniels there as her second quarterback.
The
She's
backs
got
are
Tank Dell.
nasty for taking them so late, too.
I know, and she's also got one of my favorite rookie receivers here in Roma Dunze. If you didn't fall in love with his personality during his combine interviews, like I don't think that you have a heart, because he was absolutely delightful. So not only that, but just a mega talent as well. So he's going to be one of the guys that I am definitely targeting in my drafts later this year. I love her running back picks later on with Zamira White, Brian Robinson. Unfortunately, I'm not sure Austin Eckler's really going to be too much of a thing. So I'm excited about Brian Robinson. But she's got both B. Robinsons on her team, which I think is kind of funny. Because we were actually joking.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. You're right.
Last night
That is funny.
We were joking about
taking the wrong one.
Well, no, yeah, taking the wrong one.
I would do that. I'd be like, shit, I grabbed the wrong Robinson.
The wrong B. Robinson, because we were talking about, everybody coming on and talking about their draft, and I hope I don't get distracted.
Right. Yeah.
And take the wrong B. Robinson. So she just got both of them, so she doesn't have to worry about it.
She's like, yeah, I got this covered.
But yeah, I think I really like Brittany's team.
Who's team 11? Kelly's team is ridiculous.
Yeah, Miss Kelly Singh here. So she
arguably best 2 receivers in the game.
That's
maybe
crazy.
The best, or at least most upside tight end, and McBride. I like her running backs a lot.
Oh, I know.
And then for waiting so long on QB, she's got Caleb Williams, Justin Fields, and Will Levis. I really like that squad.
Oh yeah. Will Levi's, as my mom likes to call him.
I am the most country person in the world, so I will never mock anybody for calling somebody by the wrong name because I mispronounce everything. So
she did the funniest thing, I think, and I found it on a video from last year. She's like, who's Will Levi's? And it took me a second. And I was like, oh, Levis. Okay.
He's from the Levi's jeans family. You're right, Mom. That's exactly where he comes from.
Love it. Well, Keith, we have got our third guest here, Miss Yvette Laboy from bougiesports.com. Yvette, if you're ready, I'm gonna bring you on in. Let me make sure I'm not in the middle of you're not in the middle of draft. No, you just took Darren Waller. So okay, so we're gonna bring you in. You're not
Darren Waller. I auto drafted him by accident. Hey guys,
what's up?
Darren Waller got me last year, but not taking him. But that's okay. This year he's gonna blow up because that happened for a reason.
Karma.
Exactly. Tootsie Pop says in the chat. There we go. Everybody there, yes. Okay, so we've got David Joker, which is a great pick and great value there at number 6. He's a tight end 7 off the board. I love your tight end. I mean, Darren Waller, if he comes back healthy, if he's fine, that could be
saying that he's still better.
But we're trying to be positive here, but we're
Guys,
positive on the show.
Walrus
This is
talk.
the line thing. Yeah, you know.
I feel like
Ooh,
my sound
you're
sounds
right.
bad. Is it okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe on my side. I think I might have an echo on my side.
If
Dan
you want
wants
to,
So hi
sometimes
guys.
for stream,
How's everyone doing?
we're
Yeah.
doing good, right?
Good.
I mean, you girls are killing it. Every about 5 minutes.
Whatever. You
I
guys
pick a
never
different
once
draft.
said my team was a bomb. You're like, this one's a bomb. This one's a bomb. No one said, oh, Yvette's team was the bomb. Thank you guys. Whatever.
No,
Kendall. All right. How beautiful. Wait, first of all, everyone was beautiful in there and smart. I felt it like everybody dumbed down now because we're just going to have fun because don't take my advice. Yes.
no, you've got a great team. So you've got Waddle and Marvin Harrison, which is a combo that I actually grabbed on Tuesday. So I think we're gonna have some pretty stud receivers.
I just love your number one pick. I think Breece Hall is like the next CMC.
Yes.
Just people forget when he got drafted, he was like from an athletic standpoint up there with the best running backs in the last decade. He got hurt, and then what did he do last year with no QB play? Had this monster season, and now he's got Aaron Rodgers. The offense is going to be a lot better. I think Breece Hall is going to have a monster year this year, and I think he was a real steal that late in the first round.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, he came back so well after, having had that injury the year before. I mean, I famously was kind of, a little bit hesitant to take him last year. And I mean, I think he just proved everybody who was worried about that injury wrong because, I mean, he's crushed it last season.
That was my logic with Tua. Because everyone's like, oh, I want to take Tua. He's injured. He's injured. Look what happened last year. Oh my God, I wish I took Tua. So I was like, you know what? I'm freaking taking Tua. And then I took Jalen Waddle too because I was like, they're going to be awesome because Tyreek Hill is not going to be number one. Jalen Waddle is because I took him. And then I knew that nobody was going to touch Deshaun Watson. We don't have to talk about why, but I knew they wouldn't. I'm a huge Browns fan. So I'm just like, oh my God, I want them to do amazing. And let's say they do amazing, right? Then
Yeah.
I have Watson, I have Amari Cooper. I'm all set up there. So
you can grab
you guys
Jameis.
are thinking like the Browns did amazing. And then you guys be like, oh, look at Yvette's team. It's the bomb.
That was amazing. I love the low-key Deshaun massage joke, which I just it took me a second to catch it, and then I got it. So I got a question for you because we're kind of kindred spirits, and you're a Cleveland fan. All your sports teams are typically horrible. I'm an Atlanta fan. Typically, all of our sports teams are horrible.
Not
Which team? Well, UGA. Are you talking about the Braves? No, what do? They break your heart too. I know they won a World Series.
That's fair. They do.
We've been there, and all they do is lose. Which team in Cleveland gives you the most heartache to where you still get your hopes up and they just crush it? Because for me, it's the Falcons and the Braves kind of tie. The Hawks just suck. Which team in Cleveland is it for you?
I mean, it's the Browns. The Browns, especially for us this year in Cleveland, we kind of had the cardiac kids 2023.
Right.
What happened to our team? We got injured so bad. We had 4 quarterbacks. I mean, Joe Flacco, everybody was there. Everybody remembered. No one expected us. Adam Rank, remember what he said?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. This guy sucks. And look what happened. So that was that was one of the best years for Cleveland fans because no one expected us to get that far. And we made it to the playoffs. I mean, so definitely, the Cavs, we won a championship. So I can't say them. Cleveland,
Right.
This is for you. We'll never forget.
That's right.
And
greatest finals win ever, too. I mean,
yes,
come on.
yes.
Couldn't be any better.
Yes. And the Indians, well, when the 95, we made it to the World Series. We
What
didn't
happened
win.
in 95? I forgot. Who beat y'all?
Florida Marlins, first year.
Right up there. Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Took that 95 World Series.
You're a little troll job. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's right.
So are you what are the Indians going to be good this year? Because when baseball season starts.
Tonight's the game for us was at 10 o'clock. Today was opening day. It was at 10 o'clock. So I know we didn't have that great of a team, and I know they didn't do many adjustments. We do have a new coach, so I'm hoping we do good. I did.
Yeah.
Baseball, we like it until we get closer to football season.
Exactly.
We need all that football season.
Great summer filler,
We're from the South. We totally get that. It's it's all filler until football season starts.
Oh, Keith, look who just went off the board.
I'm so mad about the auto draft. You guys should know that.
Who took Vlad?
Oh,
No,
when
someone
somebody
took
like
Vlad.
auto drafts, it feels like you're
Brittany.
Brittany, of
No, and
course.
that's okay. Stuff happens. Yvette, it's like, people time out sometimes, the reception.
Multitasking, trying to come on our
Yeah.
show and be really cool, and
Listen, there are worse people that you could auto draft than Darren Waller, 100%.
True.
especially in a
It's
tight
tight
end
end
premium.
premium.
Yeah, I was gonna say for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
And considering the guys that are left over, you're getting a starter. You're getting a guy who's starting on his team in the 12th round. Worse things could have happened, 100%.
See what happened? True. I was down here, and now I'm here, guys.
Exactly. We are a positive show here. We positive reinforcement all the time. We are here to make people feel good, pump them up. Keith, pump up Lad McConkey. Go for it.
Man, he's my guy. I'm a UGA fan, full disclosure, but this guy's so good. And I went to the Senior Bowl for the second year in a row this year, and it just was awesome to see him just cooking every defensive back that they put in front of him in one-on-one drills. You saw him at the combine. He ran so much faster than even I expected at 4.39. I'm like, holy shit, this dude might be like elite at the next level. He never drops anything. And he was in an offense that he really wasn't utilized a lot, but he was very effective when he was. And I see a team like, say, Kansas City, they could really use a wide receiver. He'd be an unbelievable person. Even somebody like the Houston Texans. I know people are going to say Collins and Dell. You put Ladd because he can actually play on the outside. A lot of these receivers are pretty much slot receivers. That's where they feast. He really actually feasted both inside and outside. And what I love about him is in the last year, he actually does a lot of motion pre-snap. So I think he's got a chance to be really good, especially depending on where he ends up getting drafted.
Yes. Yvette, you just took Josh Downs with your pick. Chuba
Oh,
Hubbard.
I love Josh Downs.
That's in the 13th round. Guys, our other guest here, Kelly Singh, was joining us. She had some technical issues. Kelly, I'm going to bring you on in here too. There we go. There she is.
Kelly.
How's it going? There she is. I think she's.
You hear us, Kelly?
She's still coming. There she is.
Yeah.
There she is. All right, exit.
While we're getting that worked out, Yvette, tell us a little bit about Josh Downs. Why did you want to go with Josh Downs here? Because I love that pick.
Yeah. Well, just like how Kendall was saying earlier, like the board came to me. He was just sitting there. I didn't expect to get there, but how could you not take him when he's just right there staring at you? I think that I needed to add more depth in that position anyway. So I'm happy with that pick, especially.
I love PPR leagues too. Really like Downs. He is. I think all of the Colts are going to get a big bump if Richardson stays healthy this year, which I think he will. And also, just this offense was so much better with Jonathan Taylor, who missed the entire time that Richardson was QB. So I'm really high on the Colts offense in general because you look at what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. And, those guys were unknown, kind of like a lot of these Colts, minus Jonathan Taylor. I think you're going to see a big explosion from a lot of guys on the Indy side.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at that. So Keon Coleman. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's my guy. I love AK.
Oh,
so does it distinguish in any way that they're rookies or no?
No, it doesn't. Now, there's a search feature if you're drafting where you can search rookies only.
I'm going to have to do one of these drafts because I've never done one on it's my FFPC, right?
Yes, myffpc.com. So there's literally everything on here. I mean, if you want to do so with the Dynasty 365 show, we all went in together and picked out a Dynasty orphan team that they had here on the FFPC. And so that's kind of what we're bringing that in through the show. We've got to cut down this weekend.
So what do you got? Come on, give me the details. What did y'all take?
We got a really great trade for Justin Jefferson. So we had the 105. So we gave up the 105 and Kyle Pitts for Justin Jefferson with one of our picks. Now that's same kind of rules here, tight end premium, super flex. It's a best ball. So that way we don't have to manage it during the season. And then Tyler, Chris, and I, argue about who we're going to start in the week. But
then you get Gabe Davis. See, she just the Darren Waller pick she was just sandbagging a little bit. And now she's getting it rolling. I love it.
Dave.
And I was like, felt the pressure too. I was like, I better pick someone good on here because
Kelly, can you hear us?
Oh my gosh. You
Kelly, I felt terrible. I realized as we were talking to you that it was your turn to draft, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we're trying to talk to poor Kelly while she's trying to draft over here. Total party foul. My bad. Oh no, I think she's frozen.
working happy hour. And the service where I'm at is so bad. I'm literally standing like next to a building to get their Wi-Fi so I can even like be
The dedication. We love it.
Well, we
You're the
we
best,
thank
Kelly.
whatever business that is for providing their Wi-Fi so that you can come on.
Yes, thank you, Mellow Mushroom. My
Yes.
team though is like a freaking hot mess. The first two picks,
Are
I'm
you
like,
serious? I really like your team.
No, Kelly, we love your team. So you're drafting out of the 11th spot. I mean, you
Yes.
managed to get Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson and Trey McBride.
What are you not happy about, Kelly? Are you crazy? You got
Okay.
Tyreek, Jefferson, McBride, and then you got 3 good QBs going QB late.
I the first two picks went by and I'm like, holy fuck.
I
This
forgot
is super
super
draft. And I am never gonna get a quarterback. Like this
Well, you
is
did.
You got
And
several.
it was like slim pickings.
I don't know. I actually like your strategy because you were the only person who did not go QB early. So you've been able to load up on them when other people are getting wide receivers, running backs, etc. And again, you got Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson at a best ball. That's going to help week to week.
Right.
And my goal was to get Trey McBride, but I really was hoping to get Kyler as well, but he got snatched up just before I could get to him. But yeah, we'll make it work. I was just panicking because I'm like, it's not loading.
No. Well, I think it's great. Kelly, I want to ask you real quick, since you are our resident Arizona Cardinal guru over here. On my draft on Tuesday, I got a nice little Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. stack. What are the odds you think of that actually coming to fruition?
I think very, very good. I mean, there's a lot of rumors. I just recorded today that will go live tomorrow morning. There's tons of rumors of a Kyler trade, whether it's trade and picks to Minnesota or the Cardinals draft JJ McCarthy and then trade Kyler to Minnesota. There's a lot of weird rumors happening, but the need for a wide receiver is so deep that I cannot see them not going Marvin Harrison Jr. in the fourth.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
Could
especially
they trade Kyler Murray and some picks for Justin Jefferson, and then you draft a QB?
I have not heard that one yet.
I don't think he's going to stay in Minnesota. If you listen to what he said that part of him signing a long-term deal was Kirk Cousins being there. Obviously, we know he's not. And I really do. I think at some point Jefferson gets traded this year before the trade deadline.
I mean, they could trade. It could be a straight up, almost a straight up trade for Justin Jefferson and Kyler Murray.
Yeah. That wouldn't sound terrible to me. I mean, that sounds pretty even.
I mean, the only thing you'd miss out on is the stack. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to do great wherever he lands. But
yeah,
I think it's a high probability.
Do you want Kyler gone? Or, I mean, how does
don't. No,
Okay.
I'm happy. The thing I get all up in arms about is I became super attached to our backup quarterback, Clayton Tune.
Yeah.
And so then they bring in Desmond Ritter, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Welcome to hell, Kelly. Population in Atlanta last year.
What does this mean? I've been a happy hour, sorry. What does this mean?
This is a late night show over here, Kelly.
Yeah, we can say whatever we want.
Go. Yeah.
What does this even mean? Why do we have so many quarterbacks now? So yeah, I was a little frustrated about that. And then I'm like, does this lend credibility to the rumors of trading Kyler? Do they have Desmond Ritter in mind as like some weird bridge?
Dear God, I hope not, for your sake. As somebody who just watched Desmond Ritter start for his team, I pray for your souls if that's the plan.
Yeah, I don't know. That's where we're at right now. I think we're not. I cannot see trading Kyler. And I've gotten some people that are like, stop perpetuating. I'm like, I'm not perpetuating it. I'm just saying that it's gaining steam. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, so the 4 people right here, I'm sorry, actually 3 of us. Stacy, you don't count because you're a Packers fan. We all root for losing franchises. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hopeful are we about this season?
I'm very hopeful. I think the Cardinals ended on a high note, and we're going into next season on a high note. I'm very hopeful. And I think the Bears actually would be my next second pick from like 0 to hero.
Yvette? How you feel about the Browns?
I'm this is our year. Like, this is what we say in Cleveland. This is our year for sure. Like, but this year for sure is going to be our year. That's how I feel. I mean, the Browns. We look at our roster. We're pretty stacked. I'm right.
I love it. This is why the NFL is great. Is I'm feeling the same way. I'm like, hey, the Falcons are actually going to be good this year. We got a QB. Now, history tells me that's not going to be the case, and I'm just going to get really upset and probably in the season like crying in a ball somewhere. But as of right now, we're all super ecstatic about it, and that's the difference between NFL and like other sports, in my opinion. It's like there's always hope for next year.
Always hope. There's always hope for next season.
Speaking of backup quarterbacks, we got Jameis Winston now as our backup quarterback. And I don't know what you guys think about him. I didn't know too much about him. He is so funny. He is hilarious. Have you guys ever watched any clips of Jameis Winston?
Let me tell you, I live in.
The guy's hilarious. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to have him on the Browns.
Oh yeah, he's
just
great.
for comic relief, if anything, because I mean the Browns is already.
Yeah, we drafted him. Tampa drafted him, so I experienced the Jameis Winston experience for quite some time. And
did you do the 30-30, right? 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions.
Oh yeah, not ESPN 30 for 30. It's the other 30 for 30. He absolutely did that. Now he has LASIK though, Keith. Come on now. Like now he can see where he's throwing the ball.
It's a fair point. As somebody who's had LASIK, it's a whole different world when you can't see and all of a sudden you can.
And listen, I will just tell you this too. I loved him last year on the Saints, and that last game where he and sorry Keith because it was against your Falcons, but where he gave the ball to Jamal Williams, aka
I'm sure you did, yeah,
to let him get the touchdown. But you had to listen, and then afterwards they asked him what that was about, because Arthur Smith got his panties in a bunch over that, and he said, hey, it was a team decision. And
no, it was not a team decision. That's the deal. It was not. He went against the coaches and everybody else. Like, how could you let somebody play quarterback that you don't know he's going to run the plays that you're going to run?
But if you listen to the reason why he did it, it just to me, it was like, you know what? You're a good teammate. You're a good dude. Like, go. I wish you all the success, Jameis.
I mean, I respect him for doing it because he's basically saying, fuck you guys. Like, I'm going to do what I want. But it is a situation where you're basically throwing your like career into jeopardy by doing it. So it shows he's not the brightest dude in the world.
Fine, but listen though. So the year before, Jamal Williams put up a league record, 17-18 touchdowns, had the most touchdowns out of anybody all year when he was with the Lions. Goes down to the Saints, playing in a different role. He's being asked to do something else. He didn't have a touchdown all year. So
because they were never in the red zone.
Well, okay, but like just I'm just saying, Jameis doing his guy solid, getting him a touchdown there at the last game of the season. I guess division rival.
I didn't know it needed to be like when you give like the special needs touchdown that you see on the YouTube videos where the defense moves aside, that that's what Jamal Williams needed to get his bonus. Like, come on. Like
then I hope he did get a bonus for that. So that's fine with me. Love it. Go, Jameis. Like you got a good one, Yvette. I am happy
How
for you.
dare you ever pull for the Saints, Stacy?
Love it. I wasn't pulling for the Saints. I was pulling for
the
Jamal.
best thing he said is when he was a kid.
What did he say?
When he said, when I was a kid, I always knew my passion was football. I didn't know my passion was playing football.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. I just watched that clip. I just kept rewinding it over and over again. He's just hilarious. And I think I got auto-drafted times 2.
Yeah.
I can't multitask. Who did I get here? Well, those 2 people are going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I like the Kendra Miller. Antonio Gibson. Well, actually, he's in New England now, right?
Yeah, he is. He's up in the very, very cold of New England.
And I co-sign all these people that are waiting on running backs. And you're more the expert on best ball, Stacy, than I am. But I know in regular leagues, I rarely am going to spend a first 3-4 round pick on a running back, and typically like to take maybe one in the first 6 rounds and then just load up on dudes late. Yeah. And you just throw shit at the wall and hope something sticks.
That is my strategy for the most part with best ball when it comes to running backs. I hate drafting a running back early unless your name's Christian McCaffrey. And then I will
taxes and playing CMC and cash games with DFS.
100%. Yeah. I want to talk to you guys though about Rico Dowdle over here, because right now he is the guy in Dallas. So you're getting him in the 16th round. I mean, at worst, he's number 2 to whoever they draft. I mean, I don't think they're going to sign somebody, right? Like, it's a little late for that at this point.
They're going to get Zeke. Zeke's going to be back. It's going to be the Zeke Dowdle show. You watch.
Oh, I don't know. Can we do that again? Can we? I mean, I'm not a Dallas fan, so I don't really care. But you think what would happen in Dallas if they re-sign Zeke?
They like Zeke in Dallas, right?
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, they love Zeke.
Tony Pollard experiment work. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bring him back.
I don't like best ball.
What'd you say?
This is new to me. Well, this is my second best ball draft ever.
Really?
Ever.
That's okay. So
you guys are the ones that made me get cute. I was basically I love fantasy football, but I'm old school. I had my same league of friends for the last 15, 20 years. And we've been playing fantasy football. So I did a lot of things in the fantasy football. I'm talking about a couple leagues, hardcore, draft board, that type of girl, write everything down. I just started doing fancy stuff. So Dynasty for the first time, best ball for the first time, but it's fun. Last year I started Dynasty. This year I think I'm going to be amazing at it. This year I'm starting best ball. Next year I'm going to be amazing at it. So bring me back on next year and you guys will like Yvette's team's the best.
Oh my gosh. How do you like the best ball format? How do you feel like this is something that you can really get into?
I absolutely think this is something that's perfect for me to get into, because I tried to get cute last year. I was like, yeah, I'll be in your league. Oh, last year was my first time to Scott Fishbowl. And then, so you give a girl a cookie, you got to give her a glass of milk. So I did the Warrior Bowl. And then they're like, do you want to do this one? I'm like, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. And then what happened was I couldn't do all of it. So I was just kind of and then I couldn't get into it. It was just, I don't know. Yeah. But something like this, it's more fun because you don't have to manage it all the time. You just do it now and then chill, let it go,
Right. Well, you're so right about that. So
I really do like it.
I'm so glad you made that point, because I've got so many friends now, as you get a little bit older, I'm talking a little bit older crowd over here, you have friends that have,
Speak for yourself, Stacy. I'm still
listen, I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about these other people out there that are telling me, my league is here because I don't have time. I've got all these other responsibilities. I can't do my league. But you know what though? They still love fantasy football, still want to get into it. Why not do best ball? Then you're drafting. It's one day commitment. You're drafting. You don't touch it for the rest of the season. Go check in on it if you want, but it's not managed. And I just always kind of throw that out there as an alternative to those people, because I've had a couple friends that have had kids the last couple of years, and they're like, oh, I don't have time, to play fantasy anymore, which lame. Come on, guys, priorities here. Let's go. But you
ain't that fucking busy. Get out of here. People act like that. Come on, you're not that important.
You're not that busy. But that's
like school,
kids,
right?
They don't need to eat. They only need 2 meals.
Exactly.
The third meal. You're
I feel like it's like taking a test in college, right? You cram and then you never think about it again, ever. For a majority of it, that is best ball, and that's why it's great.
You never think about it ever again.
Yeah.
I love that ball. And you can do if you're like, oh, I don't like my build here, go do another one.
Yeah.
Go do another one and do one after that if you don't like that one, or experiment with your builds. It's say here's going to be an anchor QB team or an anchor running back team. Here's going to be a 0 RB team. Like maybe I really want to do this particular stack. I'm going to try to make that happen in this league. So I just listen. Best ball is my
Let it
new-
up. Just
really
best
best
ball.
bet.
Let it up everywhere.
Yeah.
Spread your seed. Over there, over there, over there. Everywhere.
I mean, I hadn't played best ball until like 4 years ago. I guess
4 years ago.
I'm gonna be the biggest best ball slut there's ever been this year. Like, who's the bigger slut in best ball?
Yeah,
No
I mean,
one.
I
I'm
didn't.
gonna
I
be
sat
spreading it
down-
every night because you can do like 20 a day. You can do every what? Just keep doing it.
Oh yeah.
Wait till I show you DFS, okay? Because
Oh, yeah.
if you think it's like you can do an afternoon slate at just one, you can do the main slate, you can do 4 o'clock, you can do single games. It gets a little intense sometimes. It's like, how many DFS lineups am I going to fill out this weekend? Way too many.
Whatever. We're all the same. We all have the same problem. That's
Yeah,
why
we all have
we're
the same
on a
addiction,
midnight
right?
freaking
Still
best ball
better than
draft
drugs.
in March. Losers.
Well,
All of it.
Top has a question for us. Here. She wants to know, when we do best balls like this, do we have a certain amount of quarterbacks, tight ends, like guys that we're looking for to put on our roster? So like, yeah, I mean, so some of the chat is answering as
Depends,
well.
right? Though.
Quarterback. Yeah, I think it just depends on your build. So like
And
on
who
my
you have is what I'm saying, right? Like if you get
Exactly.
Travis Kelce, you probably don't want 3 tight ends.
You don't need to do a 3 tight end build. I mean, like, so I waited a little bit on tight end after I got Kyle Pitts in my league on Tuesday, and I was, trying to think, okay, I need a backup, and all the guys that I wanted were being taken. So what was left, I ended up doing a 3 QB or a 3 tight end build because I wanted to grab some more guys in there just because I knew that I was getting some of the lower end guys that weren't, either going to be backups maybe or splitting time with somebody else. But it really just depends on your build and what you're looking at. So, we got a big fan of that Gardner Minshew pick.
Minshew mania.
Yes, 18-5 is that. Brittany again. Man, damn it, Brittany, you are.
He needs to bring back the mullet, though. I'm a little disappointed. He hasn't really had the mullet the last 3 years. He needs to bring it back.
Oh, listen. Gardner Minshew is one of my favorite backups of all time, and he's probably not a backup this year the way they paid him in Vegas. So.
Well, we say that, but Jimmy G was supposed to be, with the way they paid him last year, their guy. That didn't work out so well. So, but I'm rooting for him. I like Gardner.
Yeah, Gardner's great. I mean, he's been great everywhere he's gone. And also just a fun personality. Like I'm all about like talent, but also if you've got a fun personality, you're instantly top of my list.
So how many rookies do you take like this late? Stacy,
Yeah.
You just start firing them?
Yeah, I think at this point, so we're in round 17 now, everybody. So, we're kind of looking at guys, you want somebody who's going to have a lot of talent and you're going to want somebody who's got potential, right, to score a lot of points. For me, and I think, Britt Flynn brought up this point on our draft on Tuesday, with a lot of these rookies, especially this rookie running back class, it's not probably one of the better drafts for rookie running backs this year. So careful, because what if you're taking guys, just like, oh, let me grab this guy here. What if they don't end up starting? Right? What if they're, third string or something like that? And then, then you've kind of wasted a roster spot here with a guy that, potentially isn't really going to produce for you. So for me, if I'm drafting this early, in particular, I'm trying to get guys that I know for sure are going to start, that I know are going to be on the field, putting up those points. Now, later on, post-draft, my position is probably going to change a little bit, because then you're going to know landing spots. You're going to know where guys are, what their position is going to be looking like going into the season. But right now with it this early, I tend to stay away from the rookies that are a little bit lesser known. Like Marvin Harrison's going to start. Don't worry about it. Malik Neighbors is going to be just fine. But some of these other guys here, maybe names that you may not be as familiar with, I tend to be a little bit more careful. Do you guys?
Yeah, but isn't this best ball to where it's like, again, go big or go home? So who's got a better chance of having a big season that could impact you, like the number 13 wide receiver in this rookie class, or like the number 50 wide receiver of the people that are in the NFL? Because to me, if you're going for a home run, there's more upside with the younger guys because they could end up being a breakout guy like Puka or, Tank Dell or whoever.
That's where you got Puka last year. You got Tank Dell in the very last few rounds. I mean, those guys were stacks you could get last year. And I think I've said this on every single stream. You got that Houston stack so cheap. last year. That ain't happening this year. And I'm not
for
sure.
sure.
There's a couple teams that may be candidates for that. I think we talked about Tennessee being a potential for that, maybe Pittsburgh as well, and some of the other streams. But yeah, I mean, like you could also get, if you could get rookies here too, but like take a look at Adam Thielen going at number 17. And I get it. I know he's old. I get that he's old. Adam Thielen was the 14th most targeted wide receiver last year at 137.
Who is
I said
team
to myself,
four?
yes, last year when I passed on him and he was bomb.
Yeah. Oh,
He
he
put his face
crushed
all
the
year.
first couple of weeks.
Like, oh, you passed on me?
Oh.
Huh? You got passed on me? That's what he did.
He took it personally.
Carla. I
Carla.
love what Carla has done here again for the wide receivers at the end. Like she has picked up a bunch of potential number 1 or number 2 wide receivers late in the draft. Like from Wicks, who we saw in Green Bay, we talked about Watson. Who knows like who's going to be the alpha, but he's got a chance. Michael Wilson, we don't know who Arizona's top wide receiver is right now. Joshua Palmer. I mean, all these guys. DeMario Douglas was the best receiver in New England last year. Darnell Mooney, number 2 wide receiver in Atlanta. And these are all late picks, but they're guys that should be pretty heavily involved in their offense, kind of to your point. Yeah. And I just, if you look at, because what other receivers did she take early? Because I'm sure she's got a few studs, right?
Carla's got Zay Flowers,
Pittman,
great value there. Yeah. Pittman was her first receiver.
Which I like that. And so she's loaded in other positions like tight end, running back, quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at her running backs here. She's got Gibbs and Jonathan Taylor. She's got a Mahomes, Kyler Murray group going on here. Then with Drake May and Russell Wilson, like, watch out for Carla's team. I can't wait to see where every.
I just love all the strategies because look at all the different colors. And I mean, literally, that's kind of how you can tell how different teams were pieced together. But I mean, all of these are so good. Like for real, it's just to me, you can talk about this stuff forever because there's a million different ways. It's almost like playing poker, right? Like at the end of the day, whoever wins, wins. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you're smarter than you got a little bit lucky. Like you might have had a little better strategy, but at the end of the day, you're not controlling these people to have the numbers and stuff on the field that they're going to.
Never wins.
Yeah.
Well, it depends where I finish. If I finish first, the best team definitely won. If I finish like last, it's just all luck. But I mean, seriously, we can't control this stuff. So it's all about strategies. And there's a million different ways to do it. You do what? The years you do best what?
The years that I'm like killing it, I'm doing like amazing. I choke in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And I do better when I'm the underdog for some reason.
That is like
so much shit. So I think it's just like karma. Always wants to be like, karma is my boyfriend. They always want to come say hi to me at the end of the playoffs. They're like, yeah, you want to talk now, bitch? That's how it is. So this time I'm just gonna be really quiet.
Season-long leagues, it's like almost destiny. If you have the number 1 record, you're going to get knocked out in the first round of the or like after your bye, obviously. But then, like your first round, you're done. And it's always a team that snuck in that seems to win the freaking championship every year in every league I'm in.
Every single time. I mean, one of my home leagues that I'm in, that thing like for whatever reason, I had a really good team. Usually, for some reason, it doesn't work out in that league. All year, number one, get in the playoffs, literally knocked out in the first round. Very, so it doesn't matter.
And think about how much time and energy you spent when you could be doing a best ball or DFS, which I'm also very pro. And you don't have to worry about this shit from week to week and picking up waiver, wires and making trades and changing your roster. And it's just, it feels archaic sometimes to be in like traditional season-long leagues. When, again, you can do like so many other things and it's not nearly as much work, and we're all about like what is making life easier on us with apps and technology and everything. So why not with fantasy football? It'd be the same thing.
Well, exactly too. And kind of like what you were talking about earlier. I mean, there's so many opportunities you can go on and there's so many different platforms that host best balls now. I think every single platform hosts best balls and they have them all the way from a couple dollar buy-in, some of those tournaments on Underdog, you can go all the way up to FFPC over here has $125, best ball tournament that they're doing right now. So, all sorts of different ones that you can jump into, different, formats, things like that. But, I mean, there's just so many options. So whatever you want to play, however you want to play it, there is something for you in best ball. Guys, we're going to the 19th round already. We are wrapping it up. We are getting there. All right. Mike Gesicki going. Deuce Vaughn. There you go.
He's still in Dallas, right?
He is still in Dallas. That's right. He's still there. Kendall is on the clock now. She got Sam Howell with her last pick. How do we feel like Sam Howell's going to do in his new spot? See that? Any potential there to?
He's got to learn to not hold on to the ball for so long if he wants to be a starter in the NFL on a regular basis. Because, I mean, I know that part of it was Washington's offensive line wasn't great, but if you looked, a lot of the sacks were his fault. Similar to like Fields, his first year and a half, 2 years in the NFL, where, you know, people want to be like, well, his line sucks. Like, yeah, but if you look at how many are not covered, you know, like just him holding on to the ball too long, it's a lot on the QB too. But Howell can actually throw it. He's just got to learn to process a lot quicker and get rid of it faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see who's Kenny Gainwell. There we go. Going with Ty. I like that last little group there that Kendall's got with Ty Chandler, AJ Dillon, Kenny Gainwell. I know AJ Dillon has had kind of a down year the last several years, but I really like the Ty Chandler pick, especially with him there tied up with or paired up with Aaron Jones in Minnesota. I think he flashed last year. I think he was pretty dynamic, and
she got that second Green Bay tight end for Jordan Love. She's just always working, right?
Pandering
to Kendall, quit showing off, for God's sakes. I like just a lot of value late in best ball drafts because, again, if it's an injury situation, somebody like J.K. Dobbins, it doesn't matter if they get off to a slow start. You know, if you get like in these rounds, if you get 5-6 weeks where they're in your total and counting, it's a boom hit, in my opinion, right? And if it's somebody that's consistently scoring for you, it's probably not good news for you overall winning the league, but it just means, again, that they're more valuable in general.
There goes Brittany, just again crushing her pick there, taking one of my favorite rookies, one of my little sleeper guys, Malachi Corley out of Western Kentucky. Go Hilltoppers. Love that pick there. Love that guy. The Yak King.
The Yak King. I love it.
He's self-proclaimed Yak King. Not undeservedly so at all. I mean, he's getting like 8.6 yards after catch there, which is one of the highest out of this whole group.
There's only one Yak King, though. His name's Debo. Okay.
Oh, well, and he kind of listen. I see on the internet. I mean, he's kind of getting some Debo comps a little bit.
I like that.
A little bit thicker. He's getting a little bit of action there, short yardage stuff, the way they do with Debo a lot. So I'm kind of digging Malachi Corley. I got to stop talking about him because you know what's going to happen, Keith. Just like last year when I talked about Marvin Mims, was that we just steamed him up to the point where you're taking Marvin Mims in the 6th round of all your drafts, and then wanting to throw yourself into traffic later on in the season and decided not to use him.
You're going, why couldn't my guy been Puka or Tank Dell? That's what I kept telling myself about every 2 weeks early in the year last year. It was like, why wasn't that the guy I was on? Why was I banging the drum for this guy that hasn't done anything? So,
I'm not off the Marvin Mims train yet. Now that they've kind of gotten rid of Judy, who coincidentally went right after Marvin Mims here in this draft. Now that I still believe in Marvin Mims, I need one more year. I want to,
you got to get somebody throwing the ball, though, is my only concern right now.
Get someone throwing the ball. There's Cortland Sutton is still there. I mean, I don't know who else they have left. I haven't looked at their depth chart recently, but come on, Marvin Mims, you've got it. I know you can do it. I know you can do it, buddy.
We believe in you.
We believe in you. All right, Yvette is on the clock here.
Yes.
And again, my favorite part of the evening has been seeing each lady as it turns to be their selection to pick. The serious face. It's just amazing.
Should I take Odell Beckham? I'm joking. Ew, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I'm taking OBJ. Somebody's gonna pick him up.
The Dolphins were trying to get him. I heard Dolphins are trying to get him signed.
See,
Tyler Boyd. There we go.
I got Joe Burrow, so I just figured.
Well,
I love it.
Kendall was talking up Tyler Boyd earlier. Yvette, I don't know if you heard her, but she was talking up Tyler Boyd a lot earlier when she was on too. So, Noah
Nick
Brown.
He's a different dude when Burrow's out there, and people forget Burrow missed like half the season, so that's part of why Boyd's numbers dipped so much last year.
We got Wookie jumped in there with Mims. Could excel in the new kickoff format. Exactly.
Oh, that's a great point. Cordell Patterson, same deal. I keep telling people that with Pittsburgh. That was the first person I thought of when they changed the kickoff rules. I was like, Cordell's going to be very difficult in that.
Can't wait to see if somebody drafts Cordell Patterson.
So our Beetlejuice, just like Beetlejuice. Say his name. There he is. We said it 3 times.
Can I say like win the lotto, or like can I say like Sam Hartman and make him appear? Like, does that work the same way?
Wait a minute. You would rather Sam? I'm like, I get that he's a good looking dude, but I would go with the lottery, and then you could probably actually like just pick up Sam Hartman instead of just having to wish for him. Like, wish for the money. Come on, Stacy, you crazy?
Maybe I should say Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know.
Just in case.
He's been with porn stars. That's nasty.
Oh.
I'm just keeping it real. I mean, we know that. Like he literally like posted pictures and stuff.
You
say self-proclaimed? I don't think you can be a self-proclaimed. It's either you are or you're not.
Wrong phrase. That's for sure. But I'm so flustered now. But you took Zach Ertz there with your last pick. Keith, remind me where Zach Ertz is right now, because I am drawing a complete blank.
Oh God, he is in Washington.
Thank you,
yes.
Washington. Yes, he is in Washington now.
At 11:39 p.m. That is a new record, Stacy, for at least this decade.
I know it. Oh my goodness.
Zach Ertz reminds me of like Zach 5-point Ertz.
Yeah.
Like if you have no one left and there's just like Zach Ertz there, let's throw Zach 5-point Ertz in there.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, like, if he ends up being the starting tight end in Washington, they're a rookie QB again. I actually think there's a lot of upside in that pick.
I would like to make that same point, Keith. Like, I don't hate that pick either, considering they are going to have a rookie tight end or a rookie quarterback in there. You've got a veteran tight end in Zach Ertz.
He's always good for 5. He's always good for 5.
I mean,
sometimes you just need someone that's just going to give you 5.
Exactly. I mean, who's a rookie quarterback best friend, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, guys, we are off.
When those average guys, it's sometimes better.
Yeah.
So I've been telling my wife for years, but you know.
That's what she said.
So we're coming in the last couple picks of the draft here. Kendall is on the clock. She is at pick 3. We've got 2 more left. This is the 20th round. Zeke Elliott just went off the board.
Who took Taysom Hill?
You know somebody took Taysom Hill, and why wouldn't you? I mean,
why is he QB? What the hell?
Oh, because they have him listed here. FFPC has him listed as quarterback. Because he's going to end up in Denver with Sean Payton playing quarterback at some point.
That's fair.
We know that's happening. Ooh, Kendall taking Tim Patrick there. That's a name we haven't seen in a minute.
That could be the person that takes all your Jerry Jeudy stuff.
Oh, wow.
We have Jerry Jeudy.
Where did Jerry go anyway?
Cleveland.
The Browns.
He's with the Browns.
On Twitter, like fighting with people.
Watson, Jeudy, man, y'all are winning the Super Bowl.
We got it made over here, baby. It's fun. It's fun.
I'm from Cleveland.
We have Nick Chubb. I mean, come on.
I love Nick Chubb, man. That's my guy.
Come on.
I like Amari Cooper a lot too. I think he's so underrated.
Come on, how can you not like David?
Always been a huge Amari Cooper fan.
I think people don't give Amari Cooper enough credit. That's why I took him there too. I think people always forget about because he's so quiet. He's like, I'm Amari Cooper. I don't talk a lot. You know, he is. He's one of those kind of guys. And then he balled last year. Didn't he wonder where he ended up?
It's always done his whole career. He did it in the Raiders. They got rid of him to the Cowboys. All he did was ball there. They got rid of him. He went to Cleveland. All he's done is, balled there. I mean, he's quietly one of the best wide receivers, and it's exactly what it is. He doesn't run his mouth like all those other guys, so he doesn't get the hype.
He doesn't, and there's a couple. He did some Inside the NFL clips where he's breaking down some of his film, and this is back from when he was with the Cowboys. But if you have a chance, like, definitely recommend going to watch it. Like, just listening to him talk about, breaking all that down, his film, the way he runs routes, like that was an excellent episode. I think if you just Google, Inside the NFL, Amari Cooper, it'll pop up. But
Because he doesn't talk a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't. But when he does, man, like
That's the way
excellent.
Julio Jones was in Atlanta. Same way.
Mhm.
Like he hardly
Yeah.
ever said anything, and so people didn't respect him when he was. If you look by the end of his career, he's the best wide receiver for like
Barry
almost a 10-year
Sanders.
period.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
I love that. That guy didn't talk to no one. He left the NFL draft. I love that story. He's like, I don't know. Why do I have to talk to people? I just got drafted.
Well, guys, Wendy went in there to have Odell Beckham with her very last pick,
Thank you
Mr.
guys so
Irrelevant,
much.
in our draft.
No, we appreciate you coming on.
Tell everybody where they can find you and where they can find your content.
For sure. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's so much fun. You can find me at bougiesports.com. I have a YouTube page at Bougie Sports. Everything's at Bougie Sports. And if you're not looking for me, you'll find me anywhere because I'm going to be in your face. Because I love you guys. I love the fantasy football community. So thank you guys.
You're so welcome, Yvette. Thanks so much for spending your time with us tonight. Absolutely. Keith, thank you again for jumping on here in this late night. I know we're night
Staying
out.
up way past my bedtime. I should be like, look at this guy. Look what my poor dog is. He has been out for over an hour.
He's going to
turn into it's bedtime. Nico's like, it is bedtime, people.
He is about to turn into a little pumpkin, as we all are. So again, you can follow Keith at Keith Fleming. I am at Stacy_Perez 83. If you have not already given Fantasy and Frames a follow here on that YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like. We would appreciate that very much. And then you'll get notifications of all of our amazing shows that we have here on our network. Guys, we're going to be updating everybody here with the standings, with the teams, everything like that throughout the season. So make sure to stay tuned. Thanks again to Gemma, Kendall, Kelly for joining us. Kelly, we missed you. Sorry that your Wi-Fi ran out, but thank you for jumping on with us as well. And Yvette, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Guys, we are going to see you next and during the season, and we're going to have some more drafts here on Fantasy and Frame. So be ready for that. Guys, go to bed.
Great job by everyone. Seriously.
Yes, great job, everybody. You can go to bed now before we all turn into pumpkins. Good night, everybody.
Bye.